Hi, everybody. My name is Amy. I'm from Journals and More, created by Crack Amy. And I'm back for my third and final daily spread. And today is day 28, which I cannot believe it's day 28. That means the summer's flying, and so is June. And again, I did, let's see, I did day 2, day 21, and now I'm back for 28. So again, by now everybody has all the information. Hashtag my daily spread 26, which will be everything will be linked in my description. And today I'm actually paired up with Penny Dinterman, and she's from Penny's Art Corner, and I will link her channel below as well. And today we are doing a quiet moment on day 28. And week 4 is about meaningful pages. And there was a lot of really good ones. I am a little behind on my own videos as well, but I know tomorrow is the final days, the wrap up. So it'll be the month in review, and then day 30 will be my favorite spread. And I know that's going to be Rach and Bella finishing up. So my prompt is minimalist page, a quiet moment minimalist page. So I was sitting here thinking about this, and I'm like looking up at the other prayer reflection page, all of the other prompts from out throughout the month. And they have hitting journaling, flip cascade, all of those things. And I'm thinking, like, well, what's a minimalist page? Because I mean, for me, I guess it's my interpretation, and then a quiet moment. So, a quiet moment for me is sitting in the morning, and again, it goes back to my day 2 of my morning routine. That's probably that, and nighttime are probably my quietest moments. And at night, what I like to do is I doodle or I color, and um, what I do is I doodles and tangles, well, my version of Zentangles and things like that. So I actually, for a minimalist page, a quiet moment, which again I'm paired up with Penny's Art Corner, which I'll link below. And this is my last day, and then I wanted to think about this a little bit because um, I think doing a minimalist page for me is difficult. um, and so I chose this page, and what I did is I prepped a little bit ahead of time, and I had this I had this what do you call it? It's a silverware bag, and I left the top open, and I just put it on here, and I glued the two ends for a belly band. And the reason I did that was because I do love to have a good dinner, and that's quiet moments for me. Like if I'm out eating with my husband or things like that, I really enjoy those things. And also too, quiet moments for me are reading my devotionals, just sitting quietly in my den watching the birds, or you know um, just mindlessly scrolling, like different things. And also too, drawing, and doing my zentangles and coloring. I like all of those things. So I wanted to do a belly band because I'm going to put a piece of paper in here for my to draw zentangle at some point to put in here. So that's why I left that open. What I also did is I took some pages. This is from the Shabby collection, and I kind of just put a little rough, like uh, kind of cut piece on here. And I'm going to I prepped these ahead of time. These are little envelopes, or not envelopes, I'm sorry, pockets. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of line them up on here, and kind of like catty corner them a little bit. I don't want to cover enjoy, so I'm going to kind of like do this with them, and that for me is pretty minimalistic. I didn't sew it, so I figured like not sewing it is minimalistic for me. So I'm going to do that, and then I prepped ahead of time. I prepped these little cards, and I'm actually going to eventually doodle little things on the back. So doodling for me is very, very relaxing and quiet for me, and I love doing it. And like I said, reading. So these little cards that I took out of the kit, I backed with a vintage postcard. Not a postcard, a index card. Well, really, actually, they're not either one of those things. I'll show you what it is. It was an old doctor's estate sale that I got them from, and what it was, they kept track of the patients with them. So I backed them all with that. And then I'm going to write like maybe a favorite verse or a favorite affirmation. And I'm going to doodle all the things I like to do on here. So that's what my minimalistic, and I didn't sew it, and I just backed it and inked it a little bit. So I was trying to keep it very minimal, the work. Now I'm seeing on here that I'm trying to think how I'm going to tack these down. I don't want to cut them. I want them to be a little bit longer than the bag. So so what I'm going to do is I have a little like weight here, so I'm going to hold that down a little bit. And then what I'm going to do is kind of catty corner these a little bit. And I'm just going to tack the very edge of them with my art glitter glue. So like I said, all I did was cut these out from this is from the foundation kit or botanical kit. This is from the botanical kit. And all I did was back them with old book page. And I'm just going to tack down the corner the best I can. And then fix it all later, like if I need to tack a little more. So I want this to go like this. I want this to all be catty cornered. So I don't want these to be cut. So that was not something I wanted to do. So I'll just, like I said, I'll just take this little piece, lift it up and put some glue under it and make sure it doesn't stick down with the belly band. I don't know about everyone else, but I think it's really hard to be minimalist because I wanted to sew this so badly. And I also wanted to put like some metal on them because belly bands, what I normally would do is put it all together, sew it before I even put it down. And I'm like, nope, keep it minimal, keep it minimal. And that's what I kept telling myself. And I will be honest, that was hard. So I'm just tacking this down as I'm going along here because I want them to be a little bit, I want them to hang over the side a little bit. You know, I don't want this to necessarily just look like a food bag, but I love, it reminded me of like when I go out to dinner with family and friends, and that is a quiet moment for me. I love doing it. It makes me very, very happy. And I'm going to put one up here. Let's see. I think I like this one up there. I'm going to put this one up here. And let's see, how's that going to lay? Okay, like that. Okay, so I'm going to just kind of glue this around and hope for the best. All right, and that's going to kind of lay like that. And I do have extra glue up here, but that's okay. And I actually want to slide that over a little bit. There we go. Okay, there's that one. And then I'm going to glue this down a little bit up here because, like I said, I'm just using smaller squares to put in there. So, and this was from the botanical kit that I used. And I'm just going to put a little glue right there. Okay, and that's why I chose this bag because I got it from a place where I ate, and I really enjoy going out to dinner with my family and my friends. That's very special to me. So I try to think about my quiet moments, and quiet moments for me is just sitting at a table out, not having to cook or my mom or anybody else, and us just, you know, kind of like hanging out and talking and enjoying the food and, you know, things like that. So I was kind of like wanting to pick things that, you know, I enjoy doing too. And quiet, like I said, quiet moments doesn't necessarily mean quiet. It means like, you know, for me anyway, This is my perspective. Quiet means like where do I find the most peace? My most peace. I was thinking about this because I wrote this, and I'll be very transparent. I wrote this in my Bible this morning because I was prompted by a devotional what to to write out what is peaceful to me, and I wrote out what was peaceful to me, and that was having my family around, and being in the woods with nature and things like that, and having to sit down and actually think about that and write that out was very, very interesting for me, because I don't really think a lot about that, about because with the hustle and bustle of the world and everything else going on, I try really hard to be present, but I find that to be difficult in today's world. And I don't know about everybody else, but I find it very difficult to be present sometimes. And for me, being around my family is like epic, like epic peacefulness, and not all my family, mostly my son, my husband, my grandson. My mom's usually always there, so that's a given, I think. And you know, um, and being with nature and quiet and not having a TV on, and things like that. Things like that is just what brings me peace, and quiet, and just being. My husband and I always have a saying all the time: just be. Who cares if you don't get that done? Just be. So I thought about all of this today, and I will say this about this month long collaboration and challenge. It's really prompted me to put some thought into my current life and situations and things of that nature. And you see how easy I'm making this. This is not hard. This is literally a paper bag. I left the word enjoy. I made a belly band because I'm going to put a Zentangle. I'm going to put a blank art. I usually use sketch pads, and I'm going to put a piece of that in here for my Zentangles because that's my quiet moments, and then I'm going to fill these up with, actually, I'm kind of really liking how this is stacking. Oh, and by the way, one of the things I also did was I backed this piece of leftover paper I had from, I think it was the foundation kit, and it happened to fit in this bag, and I backed it, and I have little spots where I can doodle or write things or whatever, and I actually made that for this bag to go in the top, and I really, really like that. I really like how that came out. And I don't mind it sticking out, because what I'm going to eventually do is put a grommet in this, and put a piece of a charm off of it or something like that. And as you can see, it'll hang out the top a little bit, which I might cut it down just a smidge though. I think it might just be a little smidge too long, but I'll decide that later on. But yeah, so if you find a little bag, and I upcycled, that little bag, but it reminded me of going out to dinner with my family. I love doing that. It makes me happy, and gives me quiet moments with them, because we don't allow phones at our dinner table. So we definitely have quiet moments. That's one of our biggest rules, is no phones at the dinner table. So my son's used to it. My son's accustomed to it. But my nieces and nephews are more like, what? But what prompted that is when we were visiting family in Arizona, my nieces and nephews were everybody at the table, including their parents, which is my husband's older brother, which we love dearly. I looked around, and all their heads were down at their phones. My husband and I were sitting there, and I remember my husband and I giggling and laughing, and we were saying, "Oh, look at them all! They just have their heads down at the phones," and and things like that. And I'm like, "Wow, this is so weird." And my husband and I and nobody noticed we were talking about it, and it was so funny. And so finally, we went, "Excuse me, we're here," And then they went, "What?" And they didn't realize like that's weird, and I think that was so interesting for us, in a sense, that that they were doing that, and for us like that was so odd that you know um, that they all were doing that. And I just remember I very much remember that moment, and very vividly actually. And thinking to myself like, wow, I'm so glad we don't do that. Like when we're out and about with our, when even at home, like when we have dinner and stuff, we like to have quiet and no phones, and all those things. And oh my gosh, it's just so interesting to me. But you know what? To each his own. Everybody has their own, way of doing things, and it doesn't make it wrong, or there's no judgment there. It's just what people do, and it's just not what we do. But look at how adorable I absolutely love these little tags. Love them. And I think they're going to be so fun to use. And I'm going to just stack them up in here. Look at this. How pretty. And I want the colors to come out like this. And then I'm just putting a whole bunch of them in here. And then this, like that. And one of the other things I'm going to do is I have 3 more. So I'm determined to fit 3 more in here. But I want this one sticking out. Look how pretty. Look how pretty these are. These are so beautiful. Let's put it down here. There we go. Look how gorgeous. Let's put this one right there so it sticks out. And let's tuck this one back there. Look at how pretty. Wow. And this is, like I said, this is very minimal for me and very simple. And I just adore it. And I did have one other thing that I wanted to kind of like incorporate here, and I'm not sure how I'm going to do it yet. But, oh my gosh, look how cute that is. Oh, let me get my piece of art paper. I will do that. Actually, I'm going to use a piece of the, I want to use a piece of the ledger, because I actually really like drawing on different, like I'll draw on book page, whatever. It doesn't really quite matter what I draw on. Ooh, this one will be cool. Okay, so I'm going to use this and make a Zentangle on here. That's what I'm going to do on this coffee page. I really like that one, actually. That would be fun to draw on. I'm going to do that soon. So let me fold this up. I want to cut the edges of it off. Okay. And I have glue on here. I really do. It's a good possibility I have glue stuck on here. Because I wanted to pre glue everything and have it ready for before I came on. And okay, so now what I got to do is measure and see where I got to cut it down. I don't want to cut this big one off because I'm really interested in drawing on this. Okay, so let's cut it there. All right, let's cut that there. Actually, we don't really have to cut it. We could fold it and see. Let me see how big that's going to be. Still needs more, I think. Yep. Okay, so let's measure this down. Actually, you know what? Instead of doing that, let's just fold it in half. Okay, like this, and tuck that in there. Because I don't want to cut much of it off because I want to draw on it. Oh yeah, cute. I like it. Oh my gosh, how cute is that? Just sticking out the side. And then I'm going to round the corners on the edges. Let me round these corners on all of them. Okay. I know this is weird that I'm just putting it in like that, but it's because I want to draw on it. Okay, there we go. How cute, right? How cute is that? Now I realize I want to cut this down now, because now I'm not liking it. So let me cut that down. Okay, and then I got to round the edges on this one. Okay. me ink that one back up because I did ink it. I kind of collaged on the back because I wanted it to be interesting. I didn't want it to be... Okay. Come on. There we go. Oh, yeah. Much, much better. Much, 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 much better. Okay. Now, let me get that back out. I want these to stick out, these flowers. They're so pretty. And then, again, I want them all sticking out. Kind of just like, you know, a big... I think I used like 5 in each one, I think, is what I did. Yes, I did. Okay. Oh, these are so pretty. I want this blue one to come out a little bit, and I'll trade it out. Trade out for this one. Okay. I want these to kind of all come out. And then put the blue in here. Okay. Just have a little color popping out. I want that pink to pop. And then let's tuck that one back there. Let's pop that purple. Oh my gosh, this is so adorable. Okay. Now, I'm trying to keep this minimalist, but I do want to put a grommet in this. Maybe later, because I'm trying to... And I will say the prep time on this was not much. It was more waiting for the glue to dry and backing the pieces and cutting, because the kit allowed for it to be simple. So I literally just took parts of shabby, parts of botanical, and just literally cut them out, back them with various items to make them stronger, book page and whatever else. And I literally found the bag, cut a piece of the bag off, put it on there, put a couple pieces on. I mean, it was not much prep at all. And I'm going to actually take this moment with this piece right here. I want to put on here my quiet moments. And my quiet moments, where's my pen? Okay, quiet moments, I said, was Zentangles, which I love doing. I love reading. Devotionals. Nature. And family time. Those are all my favorite things. So I wanted to make sure that's why I actually printed this card out, because it said loved this moment, right? And these are my quiet moments. And so I wanted to make sure that I included that in this. So what I think I'm going to do is actually, I don't want to, I think I might literally put, oh, you know what else too? I wanted to include these cards. I actually took these out. They're very simple, and I was going to tuck these in as well and just tuck them in like that. Okay, so they're tucked in. And then I think I might just paper clip this on. I'm not sure. Or I may just tack it at the bottom, or you know what? How about we just tack it? How about we just tack it to this with a cute paper clip, right? Because I have a ton of cute little paper clips. And I have a little owl one. Let's see, where's my cute little paper clips? Oh, there it is. Okay, so I have little vintage owl paper clips, and I love owls. So I'm going to actually just paper clip this onto here, because I'm trying to keep it simple. Struggle is real, because I really wanted to add some lace and other things. So this is, oh, why is this being difficult for me? Because I'm on camera. Okay. All right, let's do this. Okay, I don't want to put it up there actually. Okay, so let's do this. Wow, this is so weird. I usually never have this much difficulties. Okay, there we go. So I want to just tack it on here like that. And then it'll be hidden inside of here. Okay, so this is on my, see, it's a little owl. Okay, and I'm going to tuck it in here. And now I have it in there because I wanted to make sure I wrote down my quiet moments. Okay, and I'm going to leave these. I was going to actually put some labels on this, but for now, I think what I want to do is I want to leave them blank, because I think down the road what I'm going to do is I'm going to add maybe a bird, because I love birds. I love watching birds. I feed them. And I might add a couple of little words or verse or something, um, like little affirmations or something like that. I'm not quite sure yet, and I don't want to rush it because I want it to be special. I don't want it to just be because I have to do it. I was thinking about also putting this on there because I love books and I love drinking my coffee and tea. So I was thinking about, like, maybe put that right on the edge, or and then I had this one for my devotionals. So I think I might, like, you know, put this one maybe right here, down at the bottom, or off the side, like that. And then I had another one where it was like home and family, and so I might, put that on the side here. I don't know yet. So I don't want to rush it, and I want to feel like okay about doing it. And you know I it's just not something I want to rush right now. So, and that's okay. And just so you know, you don't always have to rush everything. You can just, if you're not feeling like you want to, put something on there you're not sure about, but you love it, hold on to it. I'm gonna actually tuck these in a pocket for now, so I don't. So I remember I have actually, what I can do is I have another little envelope here printed out, and let's see, where's it at? This one. And I think what I'm going to do is just maybe, I have to fix that page yet. It's still a work in progress, y'all. And I think I might just put it here. Real simple, real easy peasy, because I already had it ready. Right, real easy peasy. Backed with the page so it's strong. I think I'm just going to tuck it right here. Right. And I may just put them in a little holder, like a little paper clip, which I have right here, just tiny little paper clip. And, just clip them together like this and kind of pop. Oops, how about if I let that dry for a minute? My art doesn't want to work today correctly. Oh, you know what? I'll just pop them in here. Let's do this. Let's do this. Right? And then I could just, actually, now that that pocket looks really cute there, though. It really does. Ooh, I just threw them all on the floor, but you get what I'm saying. I want to save them, and I will. I dropped them on the floor. I'm not going to bore you with that, but I will definitely be holding them in this place because I do want them on this page. I'm just not sure yet where I want them and how I want them, so I'm going to hold on to them, and I will pick them up off the floor after I'm done. Yeah. So if you have any questions, let me know. And again, what's a quiet moment for you? We know what mine is. I put it on the back of my tag. I clipped it here, so we know what mine are. Mine is nature, my family, my reading, my devotionals, my doodling, my all of those things. I do my Zentangles at night when it's quiet and I'm in it and my mom's in bed because my mom lives with me, and and my husband's out doing whatever he does, and just quiet moments like that matter. And then when I get up in the morning and I just sit with my first cup of coffee and my Bible and my reading, and and I listen to the birds and I watch them, that to me is precious quiet times. And so I ask you to think about that. Think about, like, what are your quiet times? What are things that you enjoy doing when it's quiet? I have this little heart I always put on everything. There we go. And what are moments that you treasure? And to think about that, and and I did a very minimalist page. I did not sew. I did not add labels. I literally just put a bag on here. I cut all of these out from the kit, the beautiful kits. The kits were fabulous, like fabulous. And I just backed them all with different things to make them stronger, and glued it on. Stuffed a Zentangle page in here that I'm gonna do, and a couple little cards that I can write on. And that's my minimalist page, and it is minimalist for me. Very minimal. See, normally I would put grommets in here. I would sew everything. I would cut this down, and I would put little decorations on all of this. And so for me, this was very minimalist. And I do like a minimalist life, so it's very representative of what I love. I love flowers, nature. I love neutral colors and the greens. So I hope you're inspired. I hope you enjoy, and thank you for watching. And Rach, thanks for having me. I had a great time. I really, really loved working with the kids, and I will continue this project. And I hope you all have a great day, and check out Penny's video, and like, watch, subscribe, and please go back and look at all the videos. I know I'm working on it, and please like, subscribe, and comment. It really does help out the person making the video and their channel. So I hope y'all had fun, and have a great July. Bye.